Hey y'all. Sorry I had to break the video up into two parts because I ran out of storage. But we're going to pick up where we left off talking about Kenya coming into the event because there were two more points I wanted to hit on.
Been through a lot from the start. Just to figure out who I am.
Now, Easy E-Day and Kelly finally arrive. Portia says in her confessional she hopes Easy has her wig tacked down. Translation, you know Kenya's about to get you, right? You know Kenya's about to bald you, right? She about to scalp you. See, this is what production wanted. Portia knew Kenya was about to get her lick back. Production knew that too. When people say, why would Kenya do this at her event? This is what they do. This is the Housewives. Have you been watching the show or is this your first season? They always do this at their events. That's the main point of them having these events and keeping their storyline going. So when people act like it's so abnormal for the Housewives to do this at their events, it's untrue. Portia knew Kenya was about to act up. Production knew Kenya was about to act up because production helped set up. They knew it. So why is the question? Why did they allow things to get this far knowing that things were about to escalate even further? If you ask me, in my opinion, ratings. The ratings. They were ready for Kenya to act up because they needed the ratings because the season has been lukewarm thus far. They needed Kenya for this moment. We could care less about Dennis, Drew, and Portia and that fake-ass storyline that's getting them nowhere. We could care less about that. Drew's album just came out last week, and it is a solid, good body of work. I really have to commend Drew on that. Drew, I like the album. Shout out to Drew. Anyway, we're not watching for Cynthia. Cynthia has done nothing this season. Angela has done nothing. We don't care about Charles, that baby, what's going on with your daughter, your mother, none of that. Shamir has the big house in the car. We got that from episode 1. Shamir's not making us tune in episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, episode 5. They needed Kenya because without Kenya, why would we be watching? What viral moment has happened for us to tune in up until this point? Nothing. Nothing. So Easy Edie goes up to Kenya with the I'm sorry I cheated flowers, and Kenya pays her absolute dust. Dust. This prompts Kenya to gather everyone. And then Kenya commences her monologue of, I'm finna get you, bitch. I'm finna get you. Kenya goes into it and Kenya shows the pictures, which I already showed y'all, about Easy E-Day having her nose done, having her lip fillers. Her whole face is full of Botox, but Portia's face is full of Botox too. So maybe that's why Portia wasn't smiling during that moment. Because if we go look at the before and after of Portia, Easy E-Day, Kelly, Angela Oakley, girl, don't get me started. It's a whole lot of people that could be on those posters. So the girls didn't like that. Flavor Flav, they didn't like that. Okay? I don't care what Cynthia, Portia Real, and Shamir said in their confessional about Kenya going too far. Because Kenya tried to do things the right way first. She went to production. She went to HR. Nothing was done. So now I'm going to handle it. That's Kenya's mindset, and I understand it. I'm an Aquarius like Kenya. I get it. It's up now. Y'all walking in with some flowers after you embarrass me in the workplace. That's embarrassing what she did the night before or the week before at the restaurant. You telling people on camera you got a gun for me and I'm going to learn today. You punking me in the parking lot. In Bankhead. You punking me in Bankhead. So Kenya had to eat that. She ate that. She went home. She had to sleep with that. She had to sleep with that moment of being embarrassed, of being chastised by the newcomer in the workplace. Production gaslighted her. Oh, no, it's not that big of a deal. Stop being a Karen. Okay? This went on for days. And now you want to walk in with an apology? Bitch, keep that apology. Because I don't like you. It's over now. It's too late. Your apology doesn't mean anything. Bitch, I've been waiting to run into you. I was waiting for you at the door. I was waiting for you at the door. That's why the posters were already made. Don't let Portia fool you with that, oh, Kenya is scared and whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. Let's keep it real and let's keep it right. Kenya is packing too. We already know this. It's been on film. Andy told the story on Watch What Happens Live with Kenya and her chasing those people off of her property, those fans who tried to run up and they rung her doorbell. Kenya is packing too, so I don't want to kick it like Kenya is scared, because if Kenya was scared, she would have uninvited her. She would have threw her out at the door. If you know, you know. Kenya tried to play the corporate game the way that they set it up with the handbook. She said she was scared to avoid having to get out of character. But since the managers don't want to take appropriate action and suspend Easy E-Day and they're acting like everything is cool, you want to go low? Let's go. Let's go. If you want to play, let's play. Kenya shows the girl's resume. She showed the girl's resume. And immediately Portia takes a look at it. She says, I'm not doing this. And she walked out. Now, I believe Portia wanted to get out of there because she was afraid Kenya had a few of her pictures on the next line. Please, you're not going to tell me Portia for real does not have any videos or pictures out there. Honey, as much as Portia drinks and she can't remember who she tried to sleep with the night before, please, you're not going to tell me Portia for real does not have any videos or pictures out there. Who's to know? She already told us she was with R. Kelly and she heard the girls locked in the bedrooms down the hallway and she was still sleeping with them. We all know R. Kelly recorded everything. His house is filled with cameras. So Portia got tapes out there too, allegedly. So Portia didn't leave that event because she was Team Easy. Portia's whole life flashed before her eyes. She was like, oh shit, they might got my videos. That's real and that's right. Same thing with Shamia. See, hoes don't like this kind of teaching. They don't like it. Major already told us Shamia used to hang out at the St. Regis looking for donors and sponsors, people to pay her bills and buy her gifts. So we already know what Shamia was hitting for. Period. She been around the block. As Nene would say, I don't know how many times she been around the block, but she been around it. So Shamia didn't like that either. Angela and Portia said in their confessional, basically, why would Kenya do this at her event? And we've already talked about what the housewives do at their event. When it comes to an event, when it comes to a vacation, these bitches will fuck some shit up. Period. What made the girls really turn sideways is that they didn't like that Kenya showed the pictures in front of the civilians. Because Kelly made the comment, who was the hype man in the audience? Who's the hype man? Kelly, that's Team Twirl. Now, the reason why I feel it was important for Kenya to do that in front of the civilians is because we know how the cameras like to chop shit up. We know how the editors would get into the editing room and switch things around and turn Kenya into the villain. So Kenya wanted to make sure that the narrative was out there. This person threatened me. This person has been coming for me and I've been paying her dust. She wanted to get me started and we're here now. So Kenya wanted to make sure the story was out there. And it's important that she got the story out because the very next day after the event, didn't Easy E-Day get on Instagram and say the whole shit never happened? She never threatened Kenya with a weapon. She never had a weapon. She flipped it and said that Kenya had been hazing her for weeks. Are we talking real or are we talking right? Didn't Easy say that? She says, I thought I would have been welcomed in this group, but I've been getting hazed. This person has been coming for me and trying to make me feel less than. Bitch, you've been coming for Kenya the first 4 episodes. What was on that poster were Carfax. Carfax. Easy told Kenya, you don't know who I am, but you're going to learn today. And baby, she did just that. Kenya learned, all right. Kenya learned the reason you talk like that is because your rhinoplasty was done incorrectly. Baby, you got to get a revision. That's number one. Number two, you're right. We don't know who you are because we didn't even know what the fuck you look like until now. We didn't even know what you look like. And then I found this thing, and baby, you around here telling people you black and Portuguese. Baby, you ain't never been to Portugal. Hush your mouth.
You're here with Great Edie, and you're watching Fan Site TV. I am black and Portuguese. I am from, I guess I would say Atlanta, Georgia, but I grew up in Roswell, Alpharetta, so.
Honey, please. With that black ass daddy. I see what you say. Now, let's compare the two. Easy Ide threatened to unalive Kenya and make Brooklyn an orphan. In return, Kenya showed pictures of Easy that Easy had already been compensated for. What's the crime here? If you threaten my life, you better have good aim. Because whatever I do next is up. It's up now. I don't think people understand how egregious it is when you threaten someone's life not once, not twice, but 3 times. So, all of these girls who had these videos and these pictures out here into the world, see, they don't like this. They don't like this because production has saved Portia before. Remember that whole incident with Bolo and Portia sleeping with Bolo on the cash trip, and then they got to the reunion and flipped it. Oh, no. Why are you slut shaming me? Why are you slut shaming me? That was Portia's whole narrative. I'm a grown woman. I could sleep with who I want to sleep with. You can sleep with who you want to sleep with in the cat's house while my room is upstairs and my daughter is here. You can please. It's one thing that these girls want, and they want to be protected from all of their whole business. But the only person who never got protected was Candy. They call Candy all kinds of freaks, all kinds of hoes, all kinds of lesbians. But when Portia is doing all this freaking on camera and the house is full of cameras, oh no, we don't want to show that. We don't want to make Portia look bad. When it comes to Portia sleeping with Fallon's husband, oh no, we don't want to talk about that girl. We're going to let her quit. She's going to quit the season, not explain herself, and then she's going to come back after everything falls apart and she's getting a divorce, and she don't want to talk about that. We're going to protect Portia. So now we got the pictures. And be clear, this is not revenge. I keep saying that. How is it revenge when this is work? This is art. This person voluntarily went into a hotel room with some niggas and said, as long as you got my $1,400, baby, you can film me, you can toss me up, you can bend me over, you can slut me out. She was paid for this. She was paid for her services. This is not revenge. It's a resume. The pictures are out there. The videos are out there. And they were out there before Kenya put them out there, because I've already shown you the people been talking about Easy Ide on Instagram and Facebook for decades. Period. Then Kelly goes storming outside. And Kelly's like, we all hoes. We all done some hoe stuff before. But was it on film? Did you agree to have it filmed? Were you selling it for $700 a night? Were you selling it for $1,400 a night? Shamia gets in her confession and says, it's one thing to say it, it's another to show it. Well, Shamia, I got one better. Leave people alone. Don't piss people off, because you can't control how they respond. You can't tell them how mad to get. That's final. That's final. And for me, if I was Kenya and I had been on this show for 12 years, and every time I say something, y'all paint me as a liar, y'all attack my credibility. The reason that Kenya says I'm always vindicated is because for so long, Kenya has said something and they have tried to invalidate her words. They have tried to paint her as a liar. Portia did it. Phaedra did it. Nene did it. Marlo did it. Drew did it. Even Shamia played on Kenya's time. When Kenya said Shamia called her when she thought her water broke, and then Portia said, why would she call you? Of all people, why wouldn't she call me? I'm her best friend. Come to find out, Candy said, yes, Shamia did call Kenya when she thought her water broke. So all of these girls have tried to invalidate Kenya's experience and paint her as a liar. Just look at this episode. Kelly did it earlier. She said, I didn't hear Easy Ide threaten you with the pistol, and she was standing right there. Easy didn't say it just one time or two times. Easy said it 3 times, and they showed it on camera, and when they showed it, Kelly was laughing. But now all of a sudden you didn't hear it. This is why we have to show the pictures. Because in this circle, if it's not on film, it never happened. At the end, production flashes this memo stating they decided to cease filming with Kenya this season. And those words were very telling. It didn't say she was terminated. It didn't say she was fired. She wasn't banished from the franchise like Phaedra. And it specifically said this season, which, in my opinion, leaves the door open. What's up with season 17? What's up with that reunion? I don't know, but I will tell you this. Whenever you pick a fight with an Aquarius, you better make sure you're ready to play. You better make sure you're ready to play, because an Aquarius will embarrass you to the 99th power. And that's what we saw. Easy Ide has to go home and explain this whole shit with her married self to her husband and to her mama. And that's what we're going to see next episode. The rest of the girls will have to find a storyline this season to entertain the viewers, because without Kenya, everybody else has to clock in. They have to clock in now. And I cannot imagine that we can expect very much, because they did not even put a preview for the next episode at the end. They got nothing. They got nothing. But y'all leave it in the comments below. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think of the episode tonight? Did you think Kenya went too far? To me, you come looking for me, I'm going to give you what you're looking for. Let's stay in touch.